Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Previews. And again, we're at a different theater with a different cast and a different production. So I'm gonna have everyone here introduce themselves. First person tell where we are, what the name of the play is, and then everyone tell what your role is in this particular production. So I will start with you.
Thanks, Juan.
Yeah.
Thomas Mooney. We're at the North Raleigh Arts and Creative Theater. The production coming up next week is Young Frankenstein, and I'm both directing and production designing.
My name is Gilly Conklin, and I'm portraying Frau Luca.
And my name is Greg Tomft, and I am Igor.
Who's Frankenstein?
Ted
Zito.
Thank you. Ted Zito, who is on faculty at NC State, is our doctor, our good doctor.
Oh, good Dr. Frankenstein. Is there a monster?
There is a creature, yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay, we're gonna leave that there then. Okay, well, speaking of which, tell us about the play, without giving it away, of course.
Well, that's already done thanks to Mel Brooks's film. So, but it is a stage adaptation of the Mel Brooks classic Young Frankenstein. He is instrumental in the adaptation, and we're doing the version that he and Susan Stroman reworked for London's West End 4 years ago now. Yes, it opened in 2017, which was a full decade after they originated the Broadway version. So I'm not sure what happened in the ensuing decade, but they made some significant revisions, and in my opinion, for the better. There's a little more shtick from the film in this version. But otherwise, it's everything people know from the pop classics. Bits of the film will be here. So.
Okay, all right. Tell me, so far with coming back from, well, not coming back from COVID because we're kind of still in it, but theater opening up from COVID, you've done a lot of things here.
Yes.
More than, I'll say more than you used to, or visibly more than you used to, maybe. Is that a correct assumption?
Me personally, or you mean
As far as the theater goes, like you directed what just happened.
Yes.
You're about
correct.
to direct what's about to happen.
Correct.
I've never known you to direct two things back to back.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So.
Yes. Okay. So yes, absolutely. Part of that being that some of it was sort of carryover material, or we're trying to cycle back to what was in progress before the shutdown, where I was in the middle of a project, and so that was our the opener last month for the venue. Was basically a continuation and a morphing of that material that we had started during the shutdown. And then I was slated to direct Young Frankenstein. It simply wasn't directly after that originally. But Tim felt, our artistic director, felt that more than anything, we probably need some almost 100% pure entertainment right now. Everyone could use a good laugh. If we were going to produce it, it fit into the schedule best right now as the opening. It's a little, I think, more COVID sensitive than some material that we could have produced or will be producing, in that there's not a lot of intimacy and relationships, and it's a story you can easily navigate without people being on top of each other the whole time. It was a show that could chunk out in rehearsal of not having all 16 company members all the time. That 4 or 5 principals do a heavy lift for some of the show, and then ensemble does other parts. So we didn't have everyone every night in rehearsal. So for both practical reasons and just the fun aesthetic ones, it seemed to be a good choice. You're right, the only sort of perhaps failing in all of that was I was 2 projects back to back, and we're trying to reopen a theater and do that safely for everyone involved, including our patrons. So
I wouldn't say a failing. Just
a lot.
It's an undertaking.
But it's been personally, it's been worth and still is worth every moment of it, to sort of OD on the creative output, having done nothing for a year and a half. It doesn't really feel like it's a lot. So, all right. My cast might disagree.
Well, I was going to your cast next. So, Gilly, before this, what's the last thing that you did in theater?
Well, we were midway through rehearsals here for Calendar Girls. And so we shut down. And actually, this arrangement worked out really well for me because I also wanted to audition for Young Frankenstein, which was supposed to follow, Calendar Girls immediately, and I just didn't think that was going to be feasible. So I was so thrilled to be able to audition for this.
Okay,
But
great.
yes, so we were doing Calendar Girls. We were all heartbroken. But there was a lot of Zoom performing out there. We did a Zoom performance called Bingo that was written by Nancy Rich, and
I saw that. That was funny.
that was fun. And then we did a Zoom performance for Raleigh Little Theater called Waiting for the Host. And a lot of Zoom readings, thanks to Sean Malone. He got us all together and we read scripts online, and it was fun doing parts that, either you always wanted to do or you never thought you could do, and it was really fun. So, just to keep our finger in the pie, it just, we just kept going.
Great. Yes, and I definitely understand that one because I did a lot of Zoom. So much so that the last time I looked at my resume, I was like, I don't remember what I've done over the last year and a half because I didn't have to actually learn lines. I just had to have it on the screen in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I did 3 shows in 3 days, 3 different
Wow.
3 different shows in
Okay.
3 days. One of them at the Women's Theater Festival, I wasn't the person that was supposed to do it, and I had to play 8 different characters. The person he didn't show up for the last rehearsal and did not show up the day of the performance. So the day of performance, here I go, just reading the script. So, but it was kind of a wonderful thing to do, to do a little bit of that. So now, don't turn your head side. You have stepped into other areas of theater besides acting.
Yes. Since coming down here, I've been able to take on a few things. I assistant directed a show that you were brilliant in, Bourbon at the Border.
Thank you.
It was delightful right here on this stage.
I will cash out him later.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. I taught some classes here this summer, which was fun. As a retired school teacher, it was neat to get back into, working with kids and everything. And we put together two 15-minute plays in 2 weeks, and it was about Cinderella and a detective agency, and it was just a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
And so I've done that. I've assisted Tim on a couple productions in more of a dramaturge kind of way, and that's actually what I think I'm actually best at. I'm not so great at directing, but I can help other people achieve their vision.
Okay, I was going to ask you that actually. What did you 2-part, which I don't like asking 2-part question, but which did you prefer, and what do you want to do going forward?
Well, my love since I was in high school has been theater and singing. My voice is what took me to New York and all of that. So singing, if I can get the right parts, there's not a lot of parts out there for the bald 50-year-old white guy. And I keep asking for wigs and nobody will give me one. But I very much enjoy doing the stuff that's behind the scenes as well. And, being a second set of eyes and helping someone, sort of solidify their vision is something that I find really rewarding.
Thomas, I'm going to come back to you. 2 things. 1, Greg and I want wigs.
Okay, noted. Yep.
I want a blonde one.
Of course you do.
Of course.
Redhead.
There you go. Okay,
That was good.
we're ready.
Okay.
You're doing dual roles in this play.
Yes.
And you did dual roles in the last one.
Yes.
Here. How difficult is that for you?
With the last production, since it was basically stage, concert, cabaret,
Mhm.
you know, and it was a one act, that was completely manageable. This one has been certainly more of a challenge. Not an unexpected challenge, I don't guess, but it's certainly an enormous workload. But I found that the upside, given the challenges, not just of this piece, but I think of almost any movie that has tried to make the transition to live stage, the problems they inherently have in trying to take something that was umpteen thousand locations at the drop of a hat and not necessarily linear storytelling, and then how do you navigate through real time and costume changes, which take time. You just can't cut, edit, paste. All of those logistics, how to cleanly navigate through a story. I have found it rewarding in the room to hit a point with actors of not being able to cleanly come up with a solution or how to navigate text and realize, oh, but if I design something differently, or if I add this or X, Y, Z, and that's the solution, or that's the road to go down, and we can just make that decision immediately and go. There's not the, put that in the note, and tomorrow we'll have a discussion, and if we have to wait till the production meeting later this week, and then, or if I'm like, well, this is how I've designed it, but now you guys just came up with something far more brilliant without, you know, then
We are
just,
brilliant.
and they really are.
Yes.
It's like let's just go with that, you know. I mean, over the course of the last 2 weeks alone, there are like 3 pieces of scenery, and we're like, wow, we really don't need that because of what they're doing. The storytelling is clean enough without all the other visual reinforcement I thought it needed. So I think that's been nice, just from a efficiency and clarity of storytelling for me, to know that I can sort of work both ends of it, to navigate forward, I hope.
A
I don't know
totalitarian
how.
state moves a lot faster than a democracy.
Yes, I see. Yes. Okay.
This is not a democracy.
Not at all. This is all you. You run it. So did you build this
Yes.
set? So
Yeah,
is
yeah, we're getting there.
this okay? So you're taking part of the set from the cabaret.
Yeah.
And
Well,
incorporating
and
it into-
actually, originally, 2 years ago, where we were in the season, I had sort of structured a unit knowing XY was going to track through Calendar Girls, and I was going to be able to move that into Frank. So it was already sort of stacked that way, just to cut down on, because our time was pressed. So that just kind of fell together nicely. I mean, after this show, it probably goes down to bare stage and we start over. But yeah, that was kind of always the back boilerplate sort of idea with how the shows had lined up.
Gilly, what kind of director is he? You don't like me, I know.
I can step out of the room.
That might be best.
Easygoing,
Mhm.
respectful, bacon and eggs. No, really. I mean, and he's fun, and he appreciates our input, and there's a lot of directors out there that will just, I'm the director, you're the performer, but no, Thomas is willing to hear our ideas or our thoughts about something, so yeah.
Just jumping onto that, I have to say Thomas has been great. I mean, if there's ever a question or something, or you have a suggestion, or you're not quite sure how things are working, he will stop and he will work it through with you.
Yeah.
And above and beyond that, he has a real solid idea about how the show should go. You know, he's not just winging it out there like some people do. I mean, he knows where it's going. He's willing to incorporate all of the things that we're bringing in, but he's already got a good, solid framework there for us to build on. And that's what I love from a director.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
and I'm definitely glad to hear that, because what you said is true, and I've said it on another episode of this. I've been in a play where the director told us how to breathe. I was not happy with it, and I'll admit, I'll tell the truth. Opening night, I decided I didn't want to breathe. Now what? So.
Yeah.
Is this production going the way you envisioned it in the very beginning? I asked every director that.
No, not at all. Thankfully.
Huh?
I mean, it's so much better than the videotape that was in my head. So, I mean, I think, I mean, so it's kind of coming back to what Greg said. I don't know how, like even just designing, I don't know how to approach work without a game plan, not a solid, like here's at least an answer. Perhaps not the best, most likely not the best answer, but at least a solution to move forward. Because I don't, yeah, otherwise I just don't know why would you walk in the room, personally. So, but it's always the sort of thing of, you know, especially directorially, it is whoever does walk in the room in an audition and, oh, well, hadn't thought of that combination. Oh, really had not thought of that. Oh, but if they're okay, then, and then we'll see where, you know. And for me, ultimately, it was just like, can we just put together a group of really talented, hardworking, fun folk that will find, you know, something. Since I couldn't do that.
And you was about to give him a compliment,
Okay,
weren't
yeah.
you? Yeah, that's
No, truly though, and it has been, especially this show, which is sort of oddly cut up, I think, unlike more traditional musicals, in that there is a good 60 or 70% of it that literally is the quartet. It is Dr. Inga, Igor, Frau. I mean, that they are the ones on their shoulders taking it across the finish line. So it has been nice just to let the four of them sort of play and see what they, you know, and not have to worry like, okay, at some point, you know, there's an inexperienced chorus that I have to pull up to that or match or to, because then, you know, the chorus gets their own defined moments through chunks of the show.
And they're good too.
Yeah.
And yeah, they really are as a nice working group
Yeah.
that I almost wish there was more than just two scenes where everyone is together, but that's literally it. But it has made it a real joy of sort of knowing that the principals can just kind of go off and whatever they discover, you know, most of them will probably be usable and, you know,
Some of it's not. Some of it's really not. But a lot of it is useful.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your target? Is there a target audience, and who is your target audience?
Well, at this moment, everyone that walks through the door is so excited to walk through the door. I live in a 55-plus community. I've got over 30 people from our community that are like, we're going out! Yay! Theater! Yay! So they, and some are going to be in the front row and opening night. Oh my God. But they are so excited to come out and enjoy music and laughter. And so, yeah.
So your target audience is everyone.
is at this moment is everyone,
And-
because
yeah.
a lot of people haven't been in a theater yet since things started opening up.
And this show is such a great entry, you know, I mean, it's not a heavy, dense show. It's something that people are familiar with, but it's still surprising. You know, you've got the diehard fans out there who
Oh,
know
yeah.
every single
Who know
line,
the
who are
lines.
going to comment. They're going to love it because there's some of it that they still recognize, but we've made it our own.
Yeah.
A lot of it, so,
Yeah, when I first posted on Facebook that I was excited that I got cast as Frau Blucher, people are putting some raw milk, perhaps, Ovaltine, you know, so they're posting all this. So there are a lot of people out there who have
yeah, there
loved
was a
the
lot
movie
on
and-
Facebook about, oh, so you're going to be humping for
Yeah.
the whole show. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, that's Mr. Humper. Yeah. Okay. And I know when I ask, you guys kind of look like, oh. The reason why I asked that question is because there are a lot of shows that are done in this area that people think they're for specific people to come see. And I want to change that theory.
Right.
And
Right.
so I kind of ask everyone, who's your target audience, you know? And
I don't know that this work has one. I mean, because it's not really, I mean, it's science fiction camp horror, so it's not really anyone's story to be empathetic with, you know? And it's Mel Brooks, so there's some slightly naughty stuff, but, you know, nothing
he's in
more
it,
than,
so yeah.
okay, there's quite a bit of naughty stuff, but nothing that like any middle school boy probably hasn't. So, I mean, it's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's the sort of thing where it's like, it's either over your head or you soak it, but there's nothing graphic or gratuitous or anything.
Yeah.
It's Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
But as far as like, is it speaking to anyone? I don't know that it
Yeah,
is really
right.
because of
It
the
doesn't have,
genre.
yeah, I don't think I don't think I'm asking if it has to. I just want people to know that in an effort, as you guys have said, but I'm kind of reiterating, in an effort to get people to come back out, we want them to laugh. We want them to enjoy themselves. And
They'll have a hard time not laughing through this show.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
but and of course, if you've never seen it, when you hear the words "Young Frankenstein," you don't necessarily think of laughter.
True.
So
True.
I'm thinking of those people,
Right,
you know.
right.
So that's why I'm like,
It's funny.
And
there you
there's
go.
a big tap dance.
Big tap.
Big tap
Big
dance
tap
number.
dance number.
There you go. It's a tap dance number. Yeah, I don't do that, but okay, it's a big tap dance number. So I don't think you told me this, but you know, sometimes old age sets in. Tell me about your character.
Oh, well. That is frightening. Igor is the grandson of the original henchman of the original Dr. Frankenstein, and, you know, he's grown up on all of these stories about the good old days, you know, back when we used to raise monsters, and that is just his absolute goal. That's the one thing that he's wanting to do, and now Frankenstein has come back to claim the castle, and I can finally take on the role that I wanted. But Igor is very enthusiastic. A little mischievous. Okay, a lot mischievous. And he's excited by everything. He is so there to be on for whatever's going on. And if there's some sort of weirdness going on, he's going to throw himself into the middle of it. Telling everybody that he's helping, maybe not so much, but you know, at least he's trying. So,
Okay.
no, I love Igor, and it's been a great chance to, you know, wrench my back out of whack and, you know, try a little bit of Cockney. So,
Oh God. So why are you a humper?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, well, let's leave it there. No. Tell me about your character.
Frau Blucher.
Every time you say it, you get quiet when you say the name. You say Frau?
Well, I'm waiting for the cue because there's
The horses are-
a horse. Every time I say Blucher, there are horses. That sound of horses in the background.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I see.
she she was in love with the original Dr. Frankenstein, Victor, my boyfriend. And she was with him throughout all of his experiments and through all of the creatures he created, and she wants his memory to still be alive. And so when his grandson arrives, this is her hope that he's gonna, continue on with the work that
Who she wanted Victor to be.
Yes,
Okay.
and she is very German.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, believe it or not, guys, that is you taking up 30 minutes. See, it was painless. Well, maybe not painless, but at least I gave you the Novocaine first, so you didn't feel it. You didn't feel the pain. So when does it start?
We open Friday, October 22nd.
Okay, and how many weeks? 3 weeks. So Friday and Saturdays at what time?
8 o'clock.
8, it is 8.
It is 8.
And Sundays at what time?
3.
3.
3 o'clock. Every
Yeah,
one of those
every
weeks.
week, yeah.
Any talkbacks? I know that's kind of crazy to ask about Young Frankenstein, but I don't know.
It's not crazy, but no, at this point, nothing.
I'm not sure how much really needs to be explained at the end. It's pretty well spelled out.
Okay, well,
we may be doing some Halloween activities on Saturday.
yeah, I would definitely be here once I get back from London.
Hey, quite nice day.
Yeah. I want to see Paul. And I'm going to the palace. I want to see Liz. And I'm going to walk in and say, Liz, girl, you in my way. This is my house now. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for allowing me to come interrupt your rehearsals. And then you playing dual roles. I know you right now. You could have been building something, and I am sitting here bothering you. I love the fact that you're doing dual because, I doing sound and acting. I feel the same way, and it actually is helpful in both instances because I quote unquote do sound so well because I've been on the stage when the music was louder than me talking, and so I know what it should be, and then.
Sound is so important. I mean, especially in what we're doing here today. I mean, if you can't hear what's going on and you've got 5 different melody lines going on at the same time, it's almost. I have the utmost respect for sound people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Why am I not doing sound for this show? No, I'm joking. What was that thing?
I think it's because you're going to London.
Probably.
Yes.
That's what we, yeah. Even if it's not, okay, that's what we're gonna say. I'm fine with it. Trust me, I'm not upset. I just want to throw that at him. But yes, I wish I could be here opening night. It sounds like this is going to be great. And believe it or not, I've never seen it before. So I didn't tell you guys that before, but because I just wanted to know.
Well, I think there are plenty of people that probably haven't, and because it's like the early '70s as far as the film, but there's so much of the film that I think tropes have sort of passed into pop culture, and people know things. Look on the road, there are things that people can quote having never seen. I mean, the credits for the Car Talk Guys radio show forever had Luger in their credits with the horse winning. I mean, there's things that are just pervasive that you don't even realize.
Right, come from there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are looking forward to it. So, guys, get your tickets. It's at Interact Theater, 22nd, Friday, Saturdays at 8, Sundays at 3 for 3 weeks. So it will end in November. I don't know the date.
The 7th.
7th, thank you. It ends November 7th. I count 3 weeks ahead. I never said I knew math. I'm an actor. I know lines. So, again, thank you guys. And I'm going to let you guys go to get to your rehearsal.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right.